to go first. The program voted #1 by the Wrestling Writers Federation.
Hello, I'm Charlie Platt along with Ric Stewart. Welcome to Southeastern Championship Wrestling. You're watching videotaped highlights of a match recently at the Houston County Farm Center in Dothan, Alabama, as Jacques Rougeau takes on the Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc.
What an incredible match, Charlie. I had the chance to be at ringside. Jos LeDuc had been foiling all the attempts of Jacques Rougeau to catch him with that drop kick off the second rope all night long. Rougeau has finally got through the defenses of the Canadian lumberjack, and this match will end in a great deal of controversy, Charlie.
As you can see already, the Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc out on the floor. A tremendous gash had been opened in his head by Rougeau earlier in this match. This action coming to you by means of videotape from the Houston County Farm Center in Dothan, Alabama. Now you see LeDuc, we should say, taking off that big belt he wears.
And that belt has been the focus of a lot of controversy, Charlie, in the past several weeks, especially. Jacques Rougeau, a tremendous match on behalf of Mr. Rougeau. The Canadian lumberjack has tied him, literally tied him into the ropes here in this Southeastern title match. LeDuc climbing into the ring, referee Larry Brock doing the very best he can to maintain order, but in a situation like this, there's really nothing a referee can do. Rougeau's neck caught between the first and second ropes, the Canadian lumberjack whipping Rougeau with that leather belt. As we've seen, Rougeau had met that same end several times, once on television.
And out of this match, a challenge was made, and our television main event today will be a match between Jacques Rougeau and the Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc. Our television main event upcoming today on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. A lot of action we'll be taking about in a moment. Right now, another special presentation, so to speak. We'd like to ask a gentleman to come out and join us. Jimmy Golden, if you could, come out and have a seat.
All right. Jimmy, Charlie and I, for weeks and weeks, we've been talking about the dream matches and having the fans write in about the matches that they'd want to see here on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. And the vast majority of the mail, virtually every letter, has contained your name in it, whether they want to see you in a tag match, they want to see you take on Jos LeDuc, Terry Gordy, whoever. The main focus and attention of the fans lately in the Southeastern area seems to be on you. And on behalf of International Sports Incorporated, we'd like to present you with this plaque. And on behalf of the parent company of Southeastern Wrestling, we're dedicating this entire show as Jimmy Golden Appreciation Day.
Well, I appreciate that very much. I take this opportunity to thank you and Charlie both and International Sports Incorporated for being such a fine promotion, and all the great people of the state of Alabama and the whole Gulf Coast area for at least being interested. Whether they're for me or against me, at least they're interested, and I really appreciate it, and it's what it's all about, competition and the whole works.
Cool Breeze, how's it going, baby? All right, good to see you. Hey, stand up here. Give me a little respect here, okay? Hey, I just come out here to say a few words. I just want to ask you something. Why is this guy here getting a chance at the world's title and I'm not? I've been here for almost a month now, and I beat everybody that I've laid my hands on, and the only reason that I haven't beat him yet is because he's too chicken to climb in the ring with me.
Now, wait a minute, gentlemen. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Mr. Gordy. Mr. Gordy. Mr. Gordy, if you'll pay attention for... Mr. Gordy. Mr. Gordy. Mr. Gordy. Mr. Gordy, if you'll pay attention for just 1 second, a tape was sent for us from International Sports Incorporated several days ago. They asked us, if you came to the interview desk, to play this for you. If you'll watch the monitor, we have a little something for you here.
A man walking around here in the Southeastern area, a man that I traveled up and down the roads with for 4 long years,
a man that I fought with side by side, shed blood with, shed sweat with, showed my house with this man. This is the same man that was my best man at my wedding, that I took him home. And it is also the same man that rubbed my face in the concrete, and the same man that has now had the audacity to come to my home and call me a dog, call my family a dog, and call my people a dog. Talk about we think we're cool. Well, let me tell you something, Jack. I was raised up on this beach down here, and you got it right. This is my home, and I am like rock and roll. I am here to stay. And I ain't talking behind your back. I'm telling you face to face. I got commitments to make, but I'm gonna come, and I'm gonna get you, and you're gonna pay. Because it is time that people like you and your kind and the Jos LeDucs and the other people in my home area are going to learn a lesson from me, Jack, because Freebird Fantasia is coming home. You best believe it. You best bet on it. Fantasia's alive and well, and it's coming home to raise hell, Terry. You get your butt ready, because I'm going to get you, and I'm going to hurt you.
Mr. Gordy?
Yeah, let me tell you something, man. Hey, it's a conspiracy is what it is. Let me tell you something, Michael Hayes. The best thing for you to do, boy, is stay out of my way, because I come here to make a name for myself, and I come here to collect titles like I'm going to do. And like I said, Michael Hayes, this might be your hometown and everything, boy, but you best stay out of my way.
Terry Gordy, very upset about that piece of videotape being sent in by Freebird Michael Hayes. This is a special Jimmy Golden Appreciation Day, our first match almost ready to get underway. Before we get into that, let us say that on today's program, you'll be seeing the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion Les Thornton in action against the U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion Tony Charles. The New Zealand Sheepherders will be in action on today's program. Terry Gordy takes on Ted Oates, and at television main event, Jacques Rougeau goes against the Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc, plus an interesting personality profile with special news coming your way. Stay with us. Let's go to the ring now for the introduction of our first match.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match one fall with the 10-minute time limit. Introducing in the corner to my left, 223 pounds, Wales, Great Britain, the reigning United States Junior Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, Tony Charles. His opponent, weighing in at 228 pounds, Manchester, England, the reigning Junior Heavyweight Champion of the world, Les Thornton.
And what a main event this would be in any arena in the United States today, and anywhere in the world today, we should say. Les Thornton, the World Junior Heavyweight Champion, taking on Tony Charles, the U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion. Bell sounds, we're ready for action. An action-packed hour of Southeastern Championship Wrestling coming your way on Jimmy Golden Appreciation Day here in the Southeastern Wrestling area. We see over on the ropes, break up the action, collar and elbow. Charles with that Cornish hype takedown on Thornton. Again into grip, center of the ring. Two highly skilled athletes, two champions in their own right. The World Junior Heavyweight Champion and the United States Junior Heavyweight Champion. Thornton now clamping down the pressure on Tony Charles. And Rick, what a television lineup we have from our opening match all throughout today's program.
Every match could be a main event, Charlie. This first match, what a European flair. Tony Charles from Wales, Les Thornton from Manchester, England. If you'll watch, especially this European-style front face lock, you'll see a lot of the European style of wrestling in the world's junior heavyweight champion, Les Thornton. Both men competed extensively all across Europe, all through Asia, and all through most of the Western world before making their way to the United States. Les Thornton has clung tenaciously to that junior heavyweight championship of the world for the past several months. Les Thornton, a tremendous bridge from a lateral press by Tony Charles. Tony Charles rolls his shoulder up at the count of 2. the two top competitors in the junior heavyweight division today in the ring on Southeastern Championship Wrestling, the junior heavyweight champion of the world and the United States junior heavyweight champion. Thornton now seems to be keying on that front face lock, trying to wear Tony Charles down. Charles powering out, reversing to a full Nelson, standing full Nelson. Charlie, the thing about when you see Les Thornton and Tony Charles in the ring, you see wrestling at its best. Tony Charles, a Cornish hype that sends Les Thornton to the canvas. Thornton manages to bridge out at the count of 2. Charles keeps right on his man. A 1 count from referee Larry Brock. Tony Charles trying to break down the bridge of Les Thornton. Thornton, the snapmare that sends the United States junior heavy champion to the canvas. Tony Charles rolls that shoulder up on the count of 2. Referee Larry Brock checking very, very closely. When you get 2 of the top junior heavyweights, as a matter of fact, the 2 top junior heavyweights in the world today in the same ring, the action is the United States junior heavyweight champion. Les Thornton on the offensive now, a series of bowler-like forearms that sends Tony Charles to the canvas. Les Thornton right on his man, snap mare, and clamps right back down into that face lock that he's had Tony Charles in for the past several minutes. Les Thornton proving what an adept scientific wrestler he is, as we were talking about minutes ago, Charlie. When you see these 2 men in the ring and the caliber of wrestlers that you are, you see fast, clean, scientific wrestling, truly world caliber championship wrestling. Tony Charles now trying to figure a way out of this front face lock. Les Thornton drives the knee to the midsection of Tony Charles. Up with that bowler-like forearm that's rocking the United States junior heavyweight champion. Charles fires back with forearms of his own.
The 2 champions going at each other head to toe because, you know, Rick, so many times we see a situation 2 athletes of this caliber step in the ring against each other, and they have that 10-minute time limit as a disadvantage because these 2 guys, I tell you, two of the 2 greatest junior heavyweights in the world today are in that ring right now.
Most definitely. Even not on television, in a regulation wrestling match with an hour time limit, both these men are champions. Both these men know about the time limits, how to use them to retain their belt, how to use them to lift the belt off another wrestler. A count of 2 on the United States junior heavyweight champion, and Thornton keys right back on that front face lock. He has clung to that front face lock most tenaciously during the first 4 or so minutes of this match, Charlie.
Good move by Tony Charles, but those ropes will be in the way, and a break is called for. A good takedown by Charles. Thornton going in. Good forearm uppercut. Snapmare takedown on the U.S. junior heavyweight champion, dropping that knee into the chest area for the pin, 2 count. And Tony Charles powers out. Thornton right back on his man, but Charles grabs that left arm into going after now.
Charles cross-facing Les Thornton, bringing to bear pressure on the neck and the upper arm area of the world's junior heavyweight champion. They call Les Thornton the man of 1,000 holds. He has a wide array of wrestling talent to draw back on. The hold that's been particularly effective for him throughout the years, and as a matter of fact, the hold that garnered him the junior heavyweight championship of the world is that tremendous belly-to-back suplex that he'll rely on throughout his matches.
Charles now clamping down with the pressure. It seems to have the world junior heavyweight champion in some trouble, and Thornton there trying to go for the hair.
These 2 men are so evenly matched. They call Les Thornton the man with 1,000 holds, but the same description could apply to Tony Charles.
Right down the line could apply to Tony Charles, and Charles now.
And let's not forget, Charlie, that Tony Charles himself was at one time the junior heavyweight wrestling champion of the world and held that belt with great distinction for a long period of time. We're looking at 2 men in the ring right now who know the feeling of that world's championship belt around their waist, the pride and the prestige that it brings. And you can guarantee that every time Les Thornton and Tony Charles step into that ring, both men,
Referee Larry Brock caught in that action. Now he's got the champion pinned. Rolls his man up, but he was definitely shaken up in that situation. Thornton now putting the knee to the back of Tony Charles.
Thornton checking on the condition of referee Larry Brock, injured in the melee minutes ago. Here it's up for that belly-to-back suplex. Tony Charles reverses into a cross-body ride. 2. A count of 3. Tony Charles has pinned the junior heavyweight champion of the world.
Here on Southeastern Television Wrestling. What a match. And Charles taking it, going up and sliding right down on his man.
There he stands victorious, the United States Junior Heavyweight Champion, just capturing a pinfall on the Junior Heavyweight Champion of the world on television.
And what a first match we've had here today on Southeastern Wrestling. We'd like to ask the Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc to come out and join us. We have some videotaped highlights that we'd like to show right now as LeDuc makes his way to our broadcast desk. Exciting first match. Tony Charles, U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion, the winner of the World Junior Heavyweight Champion.
How about the Southeastern Champion here?
The Southeastern Heavyweight Champion is with us, and we have some videotape, Joe.
That's right, roll it. I want to talk about a man. The punk has tried to hurt the man, but he can't do it. Just look at him. He's tried to look at all the people and get some cheer. Rougeau, you're not here to get cheer. You're here to try to beat me and try to take this belt. I'll tell you something, punk. You better start hitting me a little harder because you're a little too light. 21-year-old, you're a little too light, and you're going to start to eat potatoes because you're against a man. And you're going to have to find out because, Rougeau, you don't know what experience is. I've been in this business a little longer than you. And look at it now. See, the man can't do it. That's only a little trick of my own. Don't worry about it because the man is going to be laying down and we're going to have to teach a little respect lesson to you, Rougeau. You watch him right now. He's going to take his pill and he's going to have to shut up. Now it's time for the man work. This is a man's world, Rougeau, and you're going to find out.
Comments you're hearing from the Southeastern Heavyweight Champion, Jos LeDuc. And here you make use of that belt.
I make use of anything, Charlie Platt, because the name of the game is winning. And who's got the belt? That's right. There's another belt that you're going to see in a minute. We're going to show you a little something here. The punk has been unrespectful to me, and I'm going to show him a little lesson. Because first of all, he's just a punk. He's a pimple face, and he's a test tube baby. As far as I'm concerned, he doesn't belong here. Your next trip, when you finish here, Rougeau, is back south and then to Puerto Rico or some kind of island. There you go. You want some belt, Rougeau? You got a belt now, punk.
There you hear the comments.
That's all there is to it. You want the belt here. This belt belongs to me, and nobody's going to take it away.
He'll be taking on Jacques Rougeau in today's television main event on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Stay with us.
When thousands of voting rights activists marched from Carrollton to Montgomery.
This Monday night, yes, Monday night, when Southeastern Championship Wrestling comes to Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium at 8 p.m. Super World Title Night. Only $1 increase in prices when the Super Destroyer meets Roy Welch. Ox Baker takes on Coco Samoa. Terry Gordy faces Tony Charles for the Southeastern Heavyweight Championship. The Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc puts his belt on the line against Jacques Rougeau. Southeastern Tag Team title. Jimmy Golden teams with Michael Freebird Hayes to challenge the New Zealand Sheepherders, managed by Ox Baker. Then, in the main event, for the heavyweight championship of the world, Nature Boy Ric Flair puts his belt on the line against the Tennessee stud Ron Fuller. 6 all-star bouts, including a world title match. Only $1 increase in prices. Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium. Monday night, bell time is 8 p.m.
An outstanding card of wrestling Monday night at Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium, headlined by that heavyweight championship of the world match. Ron Fuller takes on Nature Boy Ric Flair. The gentleman with me at the desk, Jacques Rougeau, challenges for Jos LeDuc's Southeastern heavyweight title.
Well, thank you, Rick. You know something about Jos LeDuc's attitude that's been changing lately, and I have an opportunity right now in Birmingham, Alabama, to go get his title. It's because he was pretty upset the fact that I beat his record up in Canada, and I was 21 years old when I won the Canadian heavyweight champion, the youngest to ever done it, because he was the youngest to ever done it at 23 years old, and I don't think he appreciated that, and I don't think he's going to appreciate it when I go get this belt off of him right now.
Monday night, Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium. The title's on the line when Jacques Rougeau faces the Canadian lumberjack, Jos LeDuc.
You know, punk, first of all, I should be the main event. I should be the one wrestling Ric Flair, because the Tennessee Stud cannot beat the Southeastern champion, which is me. I have to wrestle you, Rougeau, and I could be wrestling the champion, the world champion. Well, listen to me. There's one thing you forgot. First, you got a new look. You don't know what personality you've got. You're lost. When it comes down to get down and dirty and have some guts and knock some nuts and be heavy and talk about rock and roll and talk about everything that happened in the world. Listen to me, test tube, punk, pimple face. I got this belt and I'm going to hang on to it. Do you hear that?
Jacques.
Well, I'll tell you what, he said he could be wrestling a champion in Birmingham. Well, you are wrestling a champion, a Canadian heavyweight champion, and I'll tell you what, you'll be wrestling the Southeastern champion before long, I promise that.
Monday night, Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium, Jos LeDuc and Jacques Rougeau for the Southeastern Heavyweight Championship. Welcome back to Southeastern Championship Wrestling. We're taking a look at a match that shocked and saddened fans all over the Southeast. Robert Fuller is injured. It happened in a match between Robert and his cousin Jimmy and the New Zealand Sheepherders. As you see, Jimmy's in a bad way, reaching for Robert to make the tag. Fuller into the ring. Up against Jonathan Boyd. Robert Fuller suffering severe injuries later in this match to the ulnar nerve in the elbow, a slight shoulder separation. We don't know exactly how long it's going to keep Robert out of action, but as the developments come along, we'll be sure to keep you informed. Robert Fuller holding his own against Jonathan Boyd now. All four men in the ring, this highly edited tape of a match at the Houston County Farm Center. Now watch very closely. Ox Baker, the manager of the New Zealand Sheepherders, passing something to Jonathan Boyd in that controversial wristband. Boyd, forearms to Robert Fuller with that wristband now. Referee Larry Brock, a count of 3. And this match is over. Your winners, the New Zealand Sheepherders. After the match is over, the New Zealand Sheepherders threw Jimmy Golden out of the ring. He's battling Ox Baker on his own. Referee Larry Brock is knocked out. Now watch Baker very closely as Baker and Boyd battle Jimmy Golden on the far corner. You'll see Ox Baker hand an object to Jonathan Boyd. Watch the right boot of Jonathan Boyd as he climbs on the top rope. Luke Williams has Robert Fuller's arm twisted behind his back as Jonathan Boyd comes off that top rope. Robert Fuller, shoulder separation. Injuries to the nerves in the elbow and in the forearm. We don't know how long he's going to be out of action. Jimmy Golden clearing the ring of the New Zealand Sheepherders. Robert Fuller has been injured. He is out of action. We don't know how long it's going to be. On future editions of Southeastern Championship Wrestling, we'll keep you up to date on the condition of Robert Fuller. Ladies and gentlemen, this match, one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing in the corner to my left, 223, Osage County, Oklahoma, Roy Welch. His partner at 240 pounds, Tampa, Florida, Bob Russell. Their opponents at a combined weight of 470 pounds, the New Zealand Sheepherders, accompanied at ringside by their manager, Ox Baker.
There you see the New Zealand Sheepherders displaying that flag, accompanied at ringside, as Rick said, by Ox Baker, going up against the team of Bob Russell and Roy Welch. Our television main event to come, Jacques Rougeau takes on the Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc. Also a special personality profile with important information coming up. Plus, Terry Gordy takes on Ted Oates. What a day here in Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Welch over his man. Good reversal and a good takedown. Into an arm drag takedown. Now Jonathan Boyd jumping over the rope. Welch still controlling things with the left arm barred. And the tag is made with Bob Russell.
Roy Welch has been in an intensive training program for the last month and a half, and it's paying off against these New Zealand Sheepherders. Bob Russell in the ring, not with the experience of Roy Welch or Luke Williams and Jonathan Boyd, but a very on-fire young man and a very up-and-coming young wrestler. He's in against one of the most devastating tag teams in the world today. George Napolitano, the most respected wrestling writer in the world, has laid open the question of whether these gentlemen are the ultimate tag team. Roy Welch up and over his man Luke Williams, down to the canvas again. Welch catches Williams, a shoulder tackle. Roy Welch waiting with an arm drag on Luke Williams. Jonathan Boyd into the ring, brought back to the corner by referee Larry Brock. All the time outside the ring is the omnipresent Ox Baker.
A man who has definitely played a key role in the Sheepherders' career since his arrival here in the Southeastern wrestling area. Most definitely partially responsible for that injury to Billy Golden last week on this program.
Yes. The Sheepherders seem to have a new fire in their eyes, Charlie. These gentlemen have always been very, very intense in the ring. Look closely at Jonathan Boyd's face, the face of Luke Williams, that maniacal gleam in the eyes, the crazed look. These men, when they climb into the ring, are on their opponents 120%, and they never let up. Roy Welch, a tough man in his own right, inching towards the corner, trying to get that much-needed tag with Bob Russell. Luke Williams, with a little extra aid from the hair, drags Welch back to the corner, tags his partner, Jonathan Boyd.
Boyd in, putting the boots to the midsection, dropping down with the elbow, forearm to the back of the neck. Almost like a destruction crew, the New Zealand Sheepherders.
As fine a wrestler as Roy Welch is, no man can last forever against two men. He desperately needs to make that tag with Bob Russell.
And it's made. Welch over Williams into the tag with Russell. Russell now working over Luke Williams. Good flying drop kick. And down for the pin. 1, 2, but you see Jonathan Boyd from the outside pulling the hair of Russell off of his teammate Luke Williams. Now Russell a little too hastily going into that corner to the waiting knee of Luke Williams. A mistake that they could prove devastating to the team of Russell and Welch. Now Boyd's in, working over that left arm.
Here's where the experience of the New Zealand Sheepherders comes through, Charlie. Waiting till just the right moment to seize their opportunity, hammering away at young Bob Russell. Jonathan Boyd, a maniacal gleam in his eyes as he hammers away at the left arm of Bob Russell. Luke Williams in, crashing down with an elbow into the left shoulder. Ox Baker all the time, pacing outside the ring, yelling encouragement to the New Zealand Sheepherders. Charlie, the key to these New Zealand Sheepherders, whether their tactics are sometimes extra legal or not, is teamwork. These gentlemen have impeccable teamwork. No matter what you may think of their philosophy or tactics, their teamwork is flawless.
And there you see the effects that teamwork is having on Bob Russell. Keying on that left arm. Williams in as Boyd moves out.
Here's one of the favorite tactics of the New Zealand Sheepherders. Get that man trapped in the corner, clamp down on that hammerlock, then switch in, switch out, all within the legal count of 4 according to the rules of the National Wrestling Alliance, but constantly, totally a fresh man, continually pounding away. This young Bob Russell needs to get out of that corner or it's a certain submission.
And lot of pain now is showing in the face of Bob Russell, I tell you. And again, in comes Luke Williams. Tags Jonathan Boyd, and on
Russell,
the second rope,
trying to fight back. A legal maneuver from the second rope before the count of 5. Jonathan Boyd cinches right back on that arm.
We have a submission. We have the submission from Bob Russell, and your winners of the match will be the New Zealand Sheepherders, but they continue.
The Sheepherders refusing to let go of Bob Russell. Roy Welch battling hard to save his partner.
And a lot of action still to come with the television main event, Rougeau against LeDuc, and a very important personality profile coming up next. Stay with us.
Bruce Burkhart, a newsman on the go for Burkhart.
Charlie Platt along with Ric Stewart welcoming you to this edition of Personality Profile. And on today's edition of Profile, we'll be talking about the most prestigious of all, as far as titles are concerned in professional wrestling, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. You know, Rick, I've had the opportunity to be commentator here in the Southeastern wrestling area over a period of about 6 years now. And we were talking before we came out to do this profile. In the last 4 years, there's one man that sticks out in my mind when you think of the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. You think of an opponent for the World Heavyweight Champion, a man who has excelled to the top, has been at the top for the last 4 years, would have to be Ron Fuller.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Charlie. The certain things that all blend together to make a world champion. Ron Fuller seems to possess all of these. An exceptionally large man. He's 6'9". He's just about the right weight, 260, where he's not heavy, where he's slow. He's not light, where he can't handle the heavier opponents. He's got that experience which counts for so very, very much when you talk about a world caliber wrestler.
He grew up in professional wrestling, a family of wrestlers. Of course, one of the largest family of professional wrestlers in the country, the Welch and Fuller family. And in recent years, experience would be a key factor in any one competitor going up for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And certainly you can put a lot of pluses in Ron's column as far as experience is concerned. Wrestling champions like Jack Briscoe, Dory Funk Jr. to 1 hour time limit draws, even going as far as defeating in a non-title match the former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race in Mobile.
Well, and Ronald has come as close to any man of actually having that belt put around his waist. As a matter of fact, he was once awarded a match over Terry Funk when he was the world's champion in Knoxville, Tennessee. He had the belt around his waist. He was the world's heavyweight champion, but due to a technicality, the belt was returned to Terry Funk. So when a man comes heartbreakingly close to achieving the lifetime goal of his professional career, you know he's got to be putting his all into it every time he climbs into that ring when the world's heavyweight championship is on the line.
And this coming Monday night in Birmingham's Balfour Auditorium, there will be an NWA World Heavyweight Championship match between this man, the top contender in the United States of America for the title, Ron Fuller, and the current NWA Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. Ric Flair has some comments on this upcoming bout.
Birmingham, Alabama, are you ready? They tell me that in the southeastern part of the United States, Ron Fuller is a legend in his own time. He's beat just about every wrestler to ever come into that area. And as everyone knows, he came damn close to beating a Harley Race on several occasions for this. Now, the money's right, the time is right, and the world champion, Ric Flair, is coming to Birmingham to face the Tennessee stud, the legend. Well, I like working on legends, Fuller. You see, to me, you're no big deal at all. Yeah, you're 6'9" and you're about 270 pounds. But that just means that you're a whole lot of man for me to work on piece by piece. Think about it, brother. I'm not just the best-looking man alive. Custom made from head to toe. Any woman I want, woo, the world is mine. You know why? Because I'm the world champion, Fuller. When I walk into Birmingham, you're gonna know it, And everybody there is going to know it, because I'm going to make you squeal real loud, forever thinking that there was a day in your life that you were half the man that the world champion Ric Flair is every day. Woo!
Charlie, whether you agree or not with the man's attitude or some of the man's ring tactics, you've got to admit that Ric Flair does personify that world's championship caliber. I had a chance to see him in the early 1970s when he first began his professional wrestling career and first came into his own around the Charlotte, North Carolina area. He was a tag team at that time. And looking at him now and thinking back at what he looked like then, it's a world of difference. This man, Ric Flair, has improved as much or more than any professional wrestler that I've ever had the opportunity to see in the entire time that I've been following wrestling.
There's one thing that comes to my mind as far as this upcoming bout with Ron Fuller. We've seen so many changes in the NWA World Heavyweight Championship over the last year. Harley Race, of course, defeated by Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes, short-lived champion, about a month before Ric Flair took that NWA World Heavyweight Championship from him. And now you have the top contender going into the ring against Ric Flair. And let's hear his comments right now, the Tennessee stud, Ron Fuller.
Birmingham, Monday night. One of wrestling's most famous families will be well represented when the Tennessee stud, 6'9", Ron Fuller, goes after all the marbles, the World's Heavyweight Championship held by Ric Flair.
That's right, Freddie, and I've been doing a heck of a lot of traveling, and I know you have been too, Flair. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia today, but Monday night I will be in Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium, and you and I, Ric Flair, will be getting it on for the World Heavyweight Championship. It'll be sweet home Alabama time. Stud will be coming home to Alabama, and I will be in Birmingham Monday night. And I've been chasing you, Flair. I've beaten you before. You know, and I know, both of us, that I should be the World Heavyweight Champion. There's going to be no excuses for anybody, either one of us, though. Come Monday night, we'll be down there in Boutwell. We're going to be wrestling for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Ric Flair, I'm going to tell you this. I know you do a heck of a lot of traveling. You all over the world. I've already blanked out my schedule past Monday night because I will be taking your commitments. Tuesday morning, I will be on a plane and I will be flying to defend the World Heavyweight Championship, because it's all come down to now, Flair. I've got you pinned down. My name's on the contract. Your name's on the contract. Monday night in Boutwell Auditorium, I'm going to be the man that puts you down, Ric Flair, for the 1, 2, 3 count. You're going to be looking up at the stud at the start, and you're going to be looking up at me at the finish, because I'm going to be world champion Monday night in Boutwell, and you can bank on it, Flair.
Interesting comments from the man who possesses the 10 pounds of gold, the most prestigious title, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, Ric Flair, and the #1 contender in the country, Ron Fuller. These two men clash Monday night for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
A lot of excitement in the Magic City, Charlie, and a lot of excitement coming to Southeastern Championship Wrestling. In just a few minutes, our television main event, the Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc takes on Jacques Rougeau. Stay tuned for that.
And thank you for joining us for today's edition of Personality Profile.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Now in the ring, 228 pounds, Ted Oates. His opponent, 275, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Terry Gordy. Your referee is Larry Brock.
Terry Gordy taking on Ted Oates from Columbus, Georgia. Gordy making his way back out.
Hold it here. Hey, get a camera over here on this face. I want everybody to know something. You know, Michael Hayes, you really got a lot of nerve, boy. You got a lot of nerve sending a film in here. You know something, boy, I'm about as scared of that film as I am you. And let me tell you something. I'm nowhere near scared of you, boy. And let me tell you, you come in here and you try to mess with my business, and I'm going to beat you within the inch of your life.
Terry Gordy coming out to our desk. The count begins in the ring on Gordy, slowly making his way, 4 count. In the ring he goes, finally. His opponent, Ted Oates from Columbus, Georgia, collared elbow, center of the ring. Oates over in that turnbuckle. Now, I'll tell you what. A lot of size being given up by Oates, but you won't find a scrappier competitor anywhere in the country, a man of his size than Ted Oates, Rick.
Whether Ted Oates chooses to wrestle scientifically or whether he chooses to roughhouse a little bit, you won't find a man with more fighting heart than Ted Oates. Catching Terry Gordy with a right hand, winds his man into the ropes. Gordy met with a tremendous elbow that sent into the canvas. Ted Oates right on his man, lateral press.
2 count. 2 count on Terry Gordy, and Oates right back up with that side headlock. I tell you what.
The thing that Ted Oates is going to have to watch for is that 275 pounds, Charlie.
That's right.
You can't sell a 50-pound weight advantage short, especially when you're dealing with a wrestler of the caliber of Terry Gordy. The man has an international reputation. He is definitely a world-class wrestler.
Hard right by Ted Oates, and again popping Gordy. Now Gordy there is using that experience there, catching Oates with that boot coming off of the ropes. Gordy now continuing with an attack, drops the elbow, throwing Oates into the top rope. Oates powers out on the count of 2.
Watch Terry Gordy very closely, Charlie. When he drops an elbow on a man, he'll use every ounce of that 275 pounds to get the maximum amount of leverage possible. Gordy misses with a wild right hand, caught with a crossbody block by Ted Oates. A count of 2 from referee Larry Brock. Oates right on his feet, firing to the head of Terry Gordy. Gordy slows Oates down with the side headlock. Tremendous leapfrog from Ted Oates. Sleeper.
Great move by Oates. Now he rolls his man up. And with Gordy used those tights, but nevertheless he got the pin. And your winner is Terry Gordy. Great effort by Oates in the closing moments of that match, and we'll be back with our television main event in just a moment. A lot of action coming up Friday night. Georgiana, the South Butler Academy at 8:30 tonight. The main events will be a special challenge as Michael Hayes takes on Terry Gordy.
Yeah, well, it's like this. The main person I got on my mind right now is none other than the Alabama state champion. That's Jimmy Golden. Jimmy Golden, you're the man that I want because I want the world's title, boy, and I should be the one that's wrestling the world champion tonight. But the reason why I hate Jimmy Golden is because you're too chicken. You're like a dog with his head stuck between his tail. And it's like this, boy. I'm going to get you somewhere, sometime, and I'm going to take you, and I'm going to show you what a wrestler's all about. As far as Michael Hayes, best thing for Michael Hayes to do is to stay completely out of my life. Because, Michael Hayes, I've had dealings with you in the past. And I don't want no more because, boy, I don't want to hurt you.
Television main event. No time for the introduction.
The entire studio
Championship Wrestling. Our television main event, the Canadian Lumberjack, Jos LeDuc, and Jacques Rougeau. LeDuc on Rougeau, right from the opening minute when Jacques climbed in the ring. Jos LeDuc traps Jacques Rougeau in that bear hug. Jos LeDuc had been working on the back of Jacques Rougeau. Clamps down with that bear hug, twisting and grinding the lower back muscles of Jacques Rougeau. Rougeau showing that fighting heart, fighting for everything he's worth. Rougeau trying to get to that nose of the Canadian Lumberjack. Jacques Rougeau trapped in the bear hug of Jos LeDuc. LeDuc squeezing 285 pounds. The tremendous strength of the Canadian Lumberjack coming to bear on the lower back muscles of Jacques Rougeau as the television studio audience goes wild. Jacques Rougeau trying to fight his way out of the grip of steel of Jos LeDuc. Jacques Rougeau trying to prize back the head. Referee Larry Brock twice. No. Rougeau fighting back for everything he's worth. Somewhere deep down inside this young man is something that makes him fight on. Trapped by the Canadian Lumberjack, Jos LeDuc, in that bear hug.
And what an excitement.
Wait a minute. LeDuc has tied Rougeau into the ropes. Off comes that belt. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
What does he want?
What?
He wanted, look at this.
Rougeau has the belt of Jos LeDuc.
And Rougeau using it well. Wait a minute.
The Sheepherders into the ring.
Let's get out of this.
Monday night, yes, Monday night, when Southeastern Championship Wrestling comes to Birmingham's Beltwell Auditorium at 8 p.m. Super World Title Night. Only $1 increase in prices when the Super Destroyer meets Roy Welch. Ox Baker takes on Coco Samoa. Terry Gordy faces Tony Charles for the Southeastern Heavyweight Championship. The Canadian Lumberjack Jos LeDuc puts his belt on the line against Jacques Rougeau. Southeastern Tag Team title. Jimmy Golden teams with Michael Freebird Hayes to challenge the New Zealand Sheepherders managed by Ox Baker. Then, in the main event, for the Heavyweight Championship of the World, Nature Boy Ric Flair puts his belt on the line against the Tennessee stud Ron Fuller. 6 all-star bouts, including a world title match. Only $1 increase in prices. Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium. Monday night, bell time is 8 p.m. Monday night in Boutwell Auditorium, the gentleman with me at the desk, Jimmy Golden, teams with the original Freebird Michael Hayes to challenge the New Zealand Sheepherders.
You know what? You bloody Yanks are starting to get downright ridiculous. Jimmy Golden, how many people do we have to hurt for you to understand that you don't belong in professional wrestling and you don't belong in tag matches? There is your stupid father. He can't even come to watch you wrestle now because we injured him, and he is nothing now but an invalid. What about Robert Fuller? What about Robert Fuller's arm? Hey, come on now. Do you think a free bird's gonna fly in here and flutter around with its little blonde hair waving around and wriggle its hips and get in the ring with men? Jimmy Golden, you are going to the last straw. We have Ox Baker in our corner, and you can't even get your mother because you can't even sober her up.
Jimmy?
Well, you know, I'm lost for words because I'm really hurt down inside. I'm going to tell you, my father's been put in the hospital. Now Robert Fuller's in the hospital injured with a bad injury, and I'm going to tell you something. Robert got into this thing, and being the man that he is, he got personally involved, and now he's in the hospital. Maybe I might end up in a hospital before this thing's over with, and maybe 2 goats might end up in the hospital before it's over with. And don't say I ain't got no partner, because I'm going to tell you something right now. I got a man that likes to get down and dirty just as tough as me, and he's going to be my partner, brother.
You understand? Talk about it. Birmingham, Alabama, my town. Now you talk about you Yanks. We ain't Yanks down here, boys. We are rebels. And if you don't like the way we're living, you leave this long-haired country boy alone. People talking about, is Michael Hayes a man? Let me tell you something, Daddy. You get a hold of this, I am all man. Just like him. And there might be a title match, but I don't give a damn. Because when it comes to hurting, you ask Birmingham. They know you come to get the right man. He's nasty, and I was born nasty, and I'm gonna die nasty. And Fantasia's gonna come, brother. Rock and roll, shut and strong.
Let me do something, Rougeau. Let me tell you something, you test tube baby punk, pimple face. I am #1 because you see this belt. I am going to show you what a real Canadian is tonight.